Hey, if you're a home service business in Houston and you're looking for a Houston video production company that actually understands the home service market and how to help your business grow, then I think you're really gonna like this video. I'm Mark, owner of Mosaic Media Films, and we're one of the top-rated Houston video production companies that specializes in helping home service businesses win more local jobs, build trust with homeowners, and stand out from your competitors. So, let's get into it. So as a home service company, I'm sure you want to dive into creative right away. You want to start thinking about who should we interview? What projects do we have that we could film? Do we have any customer testimonials that we could get? And what else do we need to be saying or doing in these videos? However, don't do that. The first thing that you want to do is you want to start with your strategy first. And this is the first thing we do whenever we work with clients. We call it the Mosaic Method. It's a 5-part process of really understanding your goals of the project and making sure that we're creating the right video for the right person at the right time before we start diving into creative. Now, if you want to learn more about the 5-part process for the Mosaic Method, just click on the link below to get access to that. In that 5-part series, you'll learn about defining the win, knowing your viewer, mapping the journey, turning objections into story, and building out the engine that is your creative videos. So just click on the link below and get access to that below. It'll take you to a page where you can put in your email. There's a really great strategy workbook that you can go through with you and your team to articulate and go through this stuff in great detail. You can watch all the videos at once, or you can watch them over a period of time. So with that being said, let's dive a little bit more into the things that we can touch on that kind of briefly go over that in this video as it relates to home service videos for videos. Now, I want to talk to you about the 3 most important videos that every home service company should be thinking about. And that is a brand story, customer testimonials, and some type of social content in the form of organic videos and social ads. Okay, so the first video is going to be your brand story, your business promo. This is usually some video that we call the flagship video, and it's usually about 2 to 3 minutes in length and duration. It tells a compelling story about who you are, what you do, what makes you uniquely different in relation to your competition. However, you want to do this in the form of how this relates to your customer. So as usually as I'll say it's a story about you, the reality is it should be a story about your customer and how the things that you do relates to making their life better. So the story that they have in their mind is articulated with the vision that you can provide for them. Okay. Now, normally this business promo or brand story is told in this format. It's a format of interviews and testimonials, live action visuals of your service that you're providing, and then it's also some form of graphics or animation that help articulate that service in greater detail. So your interviews are usually the owner or operator or some members of the team articulating your process, your story, what makes you uniquely different. But again, it has to relate to how this is going to help your customer. What is the story that they have in their mind, and how can you help them along that by making it easier for them? So let me give you a perfect example. Home service businesses are notorious for being over budget and they're never on time, right? So if one of your core differentiators is that we'll never go over budget, it doesn't matter, like that, then that is something you have to lead with. Whether, if things go over budget, we'll let you know on time. 98% of our projects never go over budget. Once you get scoped something, we'll do it. So you're negating a reluctancy that the customer has in their mind as a core differentiator that you have. So that's part of your story and telling it in an effective way. Now, your business promo really has to help guide that customer along what's different about you. And I will tell you this, the fact that you have a video and no one else does is a huge differentiator in and of itself. Because when most people are looking for home services companies, they're going from page to page to page, and different companies. You're one of probably 50 that would have a video. And even out of that, if you're doing it this way, it's going to put you miles ahead of the competition. Because you are telling a story about you and people are more connected to you. Now, this brand story is fantastic to have on your homepage or about page, all of your citation site listings, and anywhere else where you can better articulate who you are, what you do, and what makes you uniquely different, and the specific approach you take that helps your clients. This video is typically 2 to 3 minutes, but you can have both longer and mid-form versions of this as well. The 2 to 3 minute is more of a longer form, but you can also have a shorter 45 to 60 second version that you'd use in various ways to articulate what makes you different. Now, that's the number one best video you should have. The second one is customer testimonials. And ideally, when we're creating these videos, we're telling a unique story about someone's experience working with you. Now, in a perfect scenario, we can incorporate parts of that testimonial into your business or brand story, and then also create individual testimonial videos about that customer's experience. And so the longer form version of this is usually about 2 minutes in length. It's telling the story of that customer's experience working with you. But here's the thing. Most video companies will simply go up to a customer, say, tell me about your experience. What did you like about them? How did you like it? And blah, 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 blah. And what do you think they're gonna say? Oh, Jim was fantastic. We loved him. He was great. They showed up on time. It was wonderful. And I would highly recommend him. Okay, that's to be expected. That's what everyone's gonna ask, what most people are gonna say. What you really wanna do, the huge unlock here, is you wanna do what's called an objection turns success. And in the Mosaic method, I go into this in greater detail, but the high level it is that you want to articulate to the customer what was the reluctancy or hesitation you had before working with them. Take me back to that time when you were thinking about hiring other companies. Why did you decide to go with them as a roofer or a plumber or a flooring company, okay? What was that main thing? What hesitancy did you have before making that final decision? How did you overcome that? And then what was your experience like? Do you have any regrets from purchasing from them? What would life be like if you didn't? How would it be if you decided to go with one of those other options? What would that be like? So why are we asking these questions? We're asking these questions because we want to get into the mindset of the person on the other side, the person that's watching the video. What are they thinking? They're thinking that. They're thinking, am I making the right decision? Did I choose the right person? What if I choose the wrong person? What is it gonna be like? What if I think this guy has too much money? Should I spend the extra money on them? And so that's why you want to really articulate this stuff in an effective way. And you wanna be able to ask those questions to the client and make it so you're getting into the mindset of that viewer. And that's how you turn objections into story and how you want to structure your testimonial videos. You don't want it to be just a cheerleading competition of them telling how wonderful you are. So that is your second and probably the second most important video that you should be creating. So you have your brand story with some customer testimonials incorporated in there in a shorter form. Then you have longer form testimonial videos that can be cut down into 30-second sound bites, and it can also be longer form 2-minute stories. Now, the third type of video you want to create is a social ad video. And the ad video can take elements of your brand story and elements of your testimonials, put those together, and you want to run ads to it so you're driving traffic. So this is a little bit different strategy because the social videos are on the top of the funnel. Middle of your funnel is your long form stuff, and then your testimonials are mid form and can also be used as retargeting kind of on the bottom of the funnel as well. Now, the way that the social ads are created is it's a little bit different with home services, where you want to create some type of offer, some type of thing that you're doing to get them to engage with you. I was talking with a cleaner the other day, and I said, well, if you have businesses that you're reaching out to or you're running ads, you want to have some type of offer that is going to get them to engage with you. Just saying, work with us as a cleaning company and don't fire your other person isn't compelling enough. It has to be get your first cleaning for free, and you know what your margins are, you know what your expenses are, you're providing value and you're doing it. Or, get an estimate in like 60 seconds, or we'll do a free drone video to estimate the replacement of your roof. So you're going out there, you're bringing the drone, you're doing it in less than an hour, they're getting something right away, they're seeing the value, or like I said with the cleaning company, they're getting something for free, you're creating that relationship, you're getting to showcase your work, and then you know what your numbers are. How much money does it take for me to get that lead? How many free ones do I have to do before I have a long-term customer value of a closed sale? And what is that worth to me? A new customer over the course of a year has an annual churn rate of 12, has a the churn rate of basically a year, and that customer is worth $6,000, then how much can I spend to acquire that customer? And what's the best strategy to do that? And ultimately, leveraging video throughout this process can be a huge way to increase that conversion so you have a higher volume of leads and they understand who you are and builds that speed of trust. So that's the way that you want to do these 3 different videos that are super powerful for you. Your brand story, your business promo that tells a story of who you are, what you do, what makes you uniquely different through the eyes of how your customer's life is going to be better with working with you. So it's really about them and not necessarily you per se. Then you have your customer testimonial stories, which is an objection turned success, articulating their journey and how that relates to someone else on the other side that's watching. And then you have your very specific social ad videos that articulated to provide an offer to drive traffic to your other content and market to them over time. So those are the 3 types of videos that I highly recommend and the top 3 videos that you want to start thinking about. Now I want to dive a little bit deeper into a couple clients that we work with and how we help them use and leverage video. So the first one is Netzel Roofing. And so we created a series of testimonial videos, we created a brand story video, and then we created social videos for them. And so they've used them in a variety of different ways, from driving traffic on Facebook to social ads to their page to signing up calls and getting people to learn a little bit more about them, and for people that were looking to do the roof redone. Now, another way that they use and leverage video, particularly in the roofing industry, where you drive a little bit of traffic through Facebook, but you really have to hit the right person and get the right targeting at the right time for someone that's looking to replace their roof. And they geo-fenced it where there was already damages to the roof because of storm damage. So they know the area that they're targeting, right? But sometimes that can be a little bit tricky. And a lot of times the roofing individually, specifically, they're going, they're space to space and they're going to house and they're door knocking. So what we did for them is we said, here's a flyer that you could use. Here's kind of an example of a flyer that you could use. Put a QR code on there, and that QR code goes to the video that tells the story. So now what you can do is, for the people that did not answer the door, you have a leave behind, and the goal is hopefully they'll scan that QR code because they already have damage. You already know that they have damage to the roof. So there's a higher level of interest. And then when they scan it, then you'll get a record of the person scanning and you know that they scanned it. So now you have ways to reach out to them. The other option is, you have a leave behind with someone that you did talk to. This sounds great. It's really interesting. I know we need to get this done. Let me talk to my husband when he gets back and I'll get back to you. You have a leave behind. The QR code leads to the video, tells them the story, and now you have a connection point to create further engagement. Did you talk to your husband? Did you watch the video? Did you see the customer testimonial that we had? So you're getting their feedback and creating levels of engagement, but you have that leave behind flyer with the QR code that ultimately will help close later on if they're not ready at that particular moment in time. So that's an example of what we did for a company called Netzel Roofing, business promo, testimonials, using and leveraging that content through QR codes with leave behinds when they're door knocking. Another company that we worked with was Flooring International. And with them, we created a brand story telling about who they are, what they do, and what makes them uniquely different. What's amazing about them is, instead of going to a traditional flooring store and you're trying to figure out colors and styles and designs, and you've got all this fluorescent lighting, then you bring it into your home, it's a totally different temperature of light, color, and it looks different with the way that daylight comes in with the number of windows you have in, and it just completely ruins your day. You could get the wrong flooring and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and it could be messed up. With them, they come out to your house. They give the samples. They show you exactly what it's going to look like in your environment, with your colors, with your lighting, so you feel comfortable and confident making that investment. And that was the story that we really told about how they're locally owned and operated, how they come out to your house, how they make it as easy as possible for you. They give you a great experience, and they're competitively priced, and they take care of everything from conception to completion for you. So we created not only a brand story video, but we also created a large variety of social ads that they use and leverage to drive traffic. So they were doing it for brand awareness and brand knowledge, but also specifically for commerce-related offers that they were driving traffic from social ads to their page, setting up appointments, and getting the opportunity to showcase to homeowners the types of things that they really provide. So the other one that I want to talk to you about for another client that we work with was Reliant Plumbing. And very similar to Netzel Roofing, we created a very similar strategy where we did both a brand story with testimonials and a series of testimonial videos that they used and leveraged in a variety of ways. So again, their brand story was telling a story about who they are, what they do, what makes them uniquely different, but it was told in the eyes of how their customers' life gets better. It was told how, it's not about me, it's about the customer. When we can help customer, this is how I feel, this is what we like doing for them, this is what makes us different from other people. And they really called out one of the biggest challenges that I mentioned earlier in home services is people are usually always over budget or they don't show up on time. And that was one of their core principles. We show up on time. We always make it on budget. If it ever is a chance where it's a big project and it goes out of scope, we talk about that in great detail or beforehand. And he mentioned that they're in the 90th percentile of never going over budget. And that's a huge statistic to share and articulate to clients. So that was one of their brand stories. And then in that brand story, we had testimonials. Within those testimonials, we created shorter form individual videos that they used on their website and through different types of marketing. So just to recap, if you're a home service company, you're thinking about video for your business, first and foremost, don't dive into the creative. Download the Mosaic method below, click on that description, get access to really understanding all the criteria beforehand, getting that foundation of information before you start diving in creative. Then when you do go into creative, the 3 videos that you should really be thinking about, number 1 is your brand story or your business promo. The second one is testimonials. And the third one is some type of social ad that you can use and leverage for an offer or an ad to drive traffic to your website or your offer to get more customers in the door and more lead opportunities. The couple examples that I provided showed you how we use and leverage video with these variety of different companies, how they're using them, how they're finding success with them. And I hope that this has been helpful. So if you're a home service business in the Houston area and you're ready to talk about how the right video strategy can help move the needle for your business, then just click on the link below in the description and book a free 30-minute strategy call with me. We'd love to be your Houston video production company and help your brand stand out with video that actually drives results. Thanks for watching and hope to talk to you soon.